Welcome everyone to the X-Rated Masterclass. This is where I will teach you the ways of how I landed my first 12.5K client. So how I was able to position myself without picking a specific niche, like be able to land clients without really trying to niche down. The 4-step monetization sprint, what are the steps, what are the leverages, and writing frameworks that I use that will only take you about 30 minutes per day when you have the frameworks in your head. So before anything else, let me just introduce myself. I'm Nathaniel, so it's pronounced Nathaniel. It's not Nathaniel or Nathaniel. So this is my creator journey. January 2024, I was still a night shifter. I was a uni student as well, and I recently read a book, The Art and Business of Online Writing by Nicholas Cole, and started writing on Quora. So I started like answering questions. And then on February, like I was just doing this for fun, right? I didn't have any thoughts of monetization, but I subscribed to start writing online EEC, educational email course by Nicholas Cole. And then I took all my writing from Quora and just repurposed them on X, LinkedIn, and Medium. I subscribed to X Premium just because I wanted to have long forms, because if you don't subscribe to X Premium, you can't have long forms, right? So I subscribed to X Premium just to post the long forms. And then a month after, I just blew up to 700 followers. I was at 86, just friends, people who I didn't know. And then I blew up to 700. And I was like, there's so much potential in this. And I took a leave from university. I invested all my cash, like cash that I didn't even have, on courses so that I could actually monetize X, launch my ghostwriting offer. And if you can see here, there's actually a gap from March to May. So there's like 45 days where nothing was happening. And then I was able to land my first ghostwriting client, 12.5K. So that's the 44 days that it took me to land my first ghostwriting client. And then now I landed like 3 more clients. I have more calls coming in. I'm mentoring 2 students. One of them are here right now. The other one is hopping on. And then I also developed the systems, which I'm going to show you today. So the first lesson would be non-niche positioning. So most gurus will tell you that you have to niche down, right? Like that's their idea of monetization. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a valid point. You have to be specific, because I just posted this like today. If you try to sell to everyone, you sell to no one. But there is a way for you to be yourself, but also sell to a targeted audience. But to be able to do this, we should first discover how do you make money online, right? And the way you do that is to get leads, because leads are the people who will give you money. So leads are prospects, potential customers. This is a definition from 100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. So a lead is someone you can interact with. So anyone you can call, you can comment on, you can DM, you can like their posts. That's a lead, because you can interact with them. But what you want is an engaged lead. And an engaged lead is the one who actively responds to you. So they're the ones who you don't just interact with, they interact with you. So engaged leads, hold on, let me just present this there so that I can make it bigger. So engaged leads are the one who engages with you. So those who comment RT, and bookmark your content, those who are in your DMs, even if they're following you or not, your followers and your email subs. So the goal is to get leads, because they are the ones who will give you money. Oh crap. So this is the funnel of the lead status. So people engaging your content are at the top. So they're engaged, but they're not really ready to buy. People in your DMs are more likely to buy from them, but they're not as bought in unless they are already your followers. So your followers are more likely to buy. And finally, your email subs are the most likely to give you cash, right? So here, more likely to buy, it goes down. And the secret to getting more followers and more email subs is through your profile. So you need to have a good profile, because the social media profile is the modern CV. That's what people go to, what people look at and see whether they can hire you or they need you or not. So the email sub and the follow button will be located on your profile. So you need to make it attractive as possible. And there are 6 aspects of your profile that you need to work on. And this is arranged in order of what they will look at. So if you notice, if you go to someone's profile, what you look at first is their profile picture, which you see in your timeline. And then you look at their banner, because that's like the big one. And then they look at your bio, they look at your follower count, they look at your link, and then they look at your pinned tweet. So let's see how you can optimize that. So first, you need to optimize your profile picture, right? So your profile picture is the first thing that people notice. So what you want to do is make it as clean as possible. There's 2 psychological principles here: attractiveness bias. So when someone is good looking, people will automatically assume that they are more confident and competent. And then the halo effect. So when someone has a positive trait, most people will assume that they're just really good. So when people see your profile picture as good, they will automatically think that you are a good person. It's a domino effect. So if you notice here, Arnie Ho versus this guy, no offense to him, of course, but there's this guy who I saw like my post, and if you saw someone like that in your DMs, or you saw them like you, like it's like, why is your half of your face like dark, and it's not trustworthy. But Arnie Ho, like, he's smiling, he's happy, and you just want to like cuddle him, you know what I mean? So that's first, you picture profile picture. Next would be your banner. That's the next thing that they look at. So there are 3 formats that you can follow to have a good banner: simplistic, call to action, and curiosity inducing. So simplistic, basically just a sleek, simple design, and you just use minimal things. There's not a lot of things going on. So Jack Moses right here, just a yin, what's this? Yin and yang type of stuff. And then Logan Gott is just Gott content. Like, he doesn't tell you anything. He just puts his content out there, just puts his website. That's one way you could go. Just checking the chat here. Right. My recent giveaway that got me banned was about the halo effect. So next would be a call to action. So this is my favorite. I think I suggest that as a beginner, you want to do this because you still don't have authority and you want people to know what you have to offer. And if you go to my profile, it's "I write you in." That's a call to action because I'm telling people that I'm the guy who will write for you and you will get more leads. So here's an example with Aaron. He says, he's helping you generate leads, build your presence, grow your personal brand. And then Sebastian Rogza, bringing 3,000, 25,000 deals on autopilot. So I suggest, if you're a beginner, to take this route because you want people to know you. The other routes are for established brands who you already know what they do. And then this is the most, like, I don't recommend this for beginners because, it's just something that shows who you are and what you represent. So this is a curiosity-inducing, relatable photo. So for example, Dakota, his photo is actually what he wrote when he was a beginner. So he wrote in his diary about buying a $40 product. And it is relatable, right? Like, when you're a beginner. But imagine like if you're a beginner and then you did this, like, no one will really care. A lot of people cares about because it's Dakota Robertson. But if it's just a random guy in Twitter, like, no one will really care about this about this cover photo. Same thing with Glenn. You know, like when I saw this, I was like, what is he trying to do there? I'm serious. Like I was trying to get inside his head, and I just thought like it's a nice photo. That's it. Like it's just maybe that's his vibe, you know, like he just likes to look at the sky with the yachts and, you know, nice view. So again, I suggest that you do the call to action. I think it's the safest route. Talk about who you are, what you offer. So next, after your banner, you want to fix your bio. So your bio, you want people to know what you do within 10 seconds of reading your bio. So there are two factors here. You want to add your offer and you want to add your personality. So your offer, just say, are you building a product? Are you scaling a company? Are you doing fitness coaching? Are you ghostwriting? Are you podcasting? You want it to be clear. And then your personality, you can show a transformation or a coin term. So for example, Arnie here, I build authentic personal brands and sign more clients. So you already know that this guy is a coach, right? So or a coach or a guy who helps with you, like maybe a ghostwriter. But essentially what you know him as the guy who boosts your business. So if you have a business, go to Arnie Hill. If you have a business and a personal brand to sign more clients, go to Arnie Hill. And then he shows his personality, dad and 6-year management consultant, and then transformation, grew to 11K and quit 9 to 5. And he also shows a little bit more personality, stop caring, just send it, right? So that's his mantra. That's kind of like his coin term. And mine, I help coaches and agencies boost sales through educational email courses, ECs, and social media growth. So I'm specific on what I help people with. And then I show a transformation, 400-month night shifter to 5-figure humble hustler. Dakota Robertson here, it's kind of cut. I don't know what happened here, but Dakota Robertson, I help creators and business owners make money with their personal brand. So kind of like Arnie Ho, that's 7 figures in results for 150 clients. So authority, right? He's also showing authority. The same way with Arnie, he's showing authority by saying he grew to 11K per month. And then he gives a little bit of his link, which is the next section actually. Oh, no, the follower count first. But here's a stat. Your follower count, if you have 70% more following than your followers, your boosts get deboosted, right? So for example, if you have 100 followers and you're following more than 70 people, your post will actually less likely to be seen. So if you haven't already, I suggest that you limit your following to less than 70%. Remove meme accounts, sports teams, celebrities, people who you don't really need to follow. Like you can just, if you need news, right? If you need news, you can just Google it. If you need updates on your sports teams, you can just Google it. You want to follow people who you actually want to consume their content. So toxic people as well, of course. But yeah, here's a example of following. So this is mine. This is Dan West's, a little bit more following, but you know, he has a lot of followers to make up for it. And this is Stein. Stein is insane. I don't know how he's following just 143. Stein Nurman, he's insane. So the next would be the clickable link. As I mentioned earlier, even if you're a beginner, you want to have a clickable link. I suggest to my students to put just a Calendly link. You know, if you want a brand consultation, a free brand consultation, put your Calendly link in there, because some people will book there, just want to get to know you, and that's your network, right? So for me, I created a Hoobie, who.be. So that's HOO.be. It's like Linktree, and you just need an Instagram account. So you can use your Instagram account and create a Hoobie account. Very easy. Just create one, put all your links there. Or if you don't have enough links, if you don't have a newsletter, if you don't have courses, just put your Calendly link. It also gives you authority And here's the list. So you can put a personal website, newsletter, free lead magnet, Calendly, Hubi or Linktree, or your Telegram if you want. So finally is your pinned tweet. So you want your pinned tweet. It's part of your profile because it doesn't move, right? So you want your pinned tweet to either show your transformation story, like Audrey Lowe here. Last month, my business made 445, and then 11 months ago, she just wrote her first tweet. So she's basically saying, I made this all in 10 months, right? Or authority, just like Glenn. So Glenn here just posted his testimonials and pinned it. So for Audrey, she also shows a little bit of authority there because she's saying, you know, I made this much, but it's more about her personal brand. For Glenn, it's really just authority in client results, showing that he can make you rich, which makes sense because he is a coach. So that's the profile. And now that you have the modern era CV, you have to like send it out, right? That's the job. When you have a CV crafted, you send it out to people, and you do that through content. So your content are little messengers that get people to tap your profile. So when you post something out there, the goal is to get them to tap your profile, follow you, sign up to your newsletter, or message you. So most people mentioned earlier, most people say niche down and produce content based on your ideal customer, but this will limit your reach. I see a lot of accounts who just do this and they never grow. They stay at 100 followers. But there is a hack there. And the hack that I will teach you is the content bucket Trinity. So the secret to achieving the you are the niche status is not having to stick to marketing content, just selling to your ICP, but using the content Trinity. So first is general audience post. Second is the niche post, which are posts for the people who are 2 steps behind you. So if you're, even if you're a ghostwriter, for me, I'm a ghostwriter, I post about writing. Like, how do you write? How do you sell? How do you copyright? When you post those things, you post for the people 2 steps behind you and gain authority. And then finally, you make ICP posts, which are the ones targeted to those who can afford your service. So let's go deeper into that. So for your general audience, the goal is to get as much people to tap your profile, to see your CV. So these are like the platitudes that they say. And I talk about, it's bad to post platitudes, but the thing is, as long as you don't just post platitudes, like you post the other stuff, you post authority content, it's fine, because this is what gets views. Like if you see like the results that I put here, bro, 285 likes, 40 retweets. That's a lot of people seeing my CV, right? That's a lot. The chances of someone tapping my profile and following me increases. And when they see the pinned tweet of your transformation or your client results, they'll realize this guy isn't just posting platitudes. When they see your banner, when they see the perfect profile that we laid out earlier, they will not just think, oh, this guy is just posting a bunch of crap. He actually has authority. He has something to back up the things that he's saying. So what I do here, literally though, like I just post whatever is in my mind when I wake up. So when I wake up, I usually have this motivational thought in my mind to keep going. Maybe it's gratefulness. Maybe it's just keep on going. Maybe it's, maybe someone pissed me off last night. I'll tweet about that. It's a diary. It's a diary portion of your content. So when you have something in your mind, just post it. And dude, like most of the time, 80% of the time, people will like it. It will go viral. And now when that goes viral, we need to build a little bit more authority through your niche posts. So the niche posts are the posts that are for the people 2 steps behind you. So for the people who are 2 steps behind you and they like your content, they start trusting you. And now you build perceived authority and show expertise in your field. So just for me, for example, when I write about writing content and people start saying, oh my God, I never viewed it this way. And then people start learning from me. They start trusting me, and the ICPs, the people who I will sell to, will realize that, oh, that guy actually, he has credibility, right? Like he's someone to be listened to. So when people listen to you, you gain credibility, and people just trust you in general. So these are the posts that will get you the most followers, because they will trust you, and comments, because they will like a lot of people 2 steps behind you will engage and, you know, say, like, ask you to help them, even get DM you because of it. Don't expect a lot of DMs or comments from the general. They might comment from you, but they'll just reiterate what you said. Trust me. This one is like, they will try to question your idea even, and just basically build authority. So this is how you begin to pivot from a freelancer to a coach, because when you build a strong following and a strong trust from the people 2 steps behind you, you can sell courses, ebooks, and digital products that will make you money without having to do for you work. So if there's any questions, just like raise your hand or like let me know. By the way, chat me. So that's a niche audience. And then finally, the ICP post. So this is the moneymaker post. This is like the big bucks post, right? So the purpose of these posts is for your ICPs to take action. So again, I just want to mention, like, the goal of copywriting. I want you, after this call, to realize that you're not writing to present. You're not writing to make people like you or to make people like your content. You're writing to make people act in a certain way, whether that's buy from you, follow you, DM you, subscribe to your email. That's the goal, to make them act. So these posts will get the least amount of engagement, but it will get you the most money, because they are targeting the pain points of your ICP. So a lot of people here probably have no clear ICP yet. We can work on that. You can ask me questions after a few, like this is the last slide, I think. And then I mentioned in one of my giveaways, like the find matrix, fears, irritations, needs, and desires. Once you figure that out and you start posting these things, ICPs will like go for you. And I noticed this because, dude, there was a time when I would post an ICP post, and the customer that I had in mind literally did what I said. So there was one time I posted about, you need to start a newsletter because you don't own your audience, because I was targeting a specific person there. I was targeting a business coach, and he didn't have a newsletter, and I wanted to close him. And then I posted something about, you need a newsletter. The next day, he made a newsletter. That's the power of the ICP post, because you're making someone act. Now that he has a newsletter, okay, I posted something about, you need people to see your newsletter. You need like a lead magnet. That's when he bought my EEC, because he realized, oh, right, I need help getting people to my newsletter. And that's the purpose of my educational email course, is to get people to your newsletter. So that's the goal here. Again, it's not going to get you a lot of money or a lot of impressions, but it's going to get you a lot of money. So here are some examples. So this is a post I made because of a spiritual coach who just talked about his product, but didn't really position himself as a better option. So you know how this is like one of the things that I teach is, your product is only as valuable as the problem that you solve, right? So if you're not solving any problems, your product is basically useless. So this guy is just putting out his product out there. We never got to work because he couldn't afford my services, but he was putting his product out there, and I noticed that he just was putting it out there without positioning himself as a better option to his competitors. So I said, want to be your audience's hero? Find yourself a villain. Any Batman needs a Joker. Look for the deepest, darkest problems of your audience has, and become the knight in shining armor who offers an alternative. And then I give like a example here. All right. So that's an ICP post. Next is time is money. I heard this, like a business coach posted this, time is money. And he said that, the more time I spend on my business, the more it grows. And I use that against them. So really the inspiration for these posts are from, like, look at your ICP, look at their posts, look at their content, look at their problems, and then write about it. Time is money. He was not the one, like the one I was targeting here was not the one who contacted me, but there was someone who contacted me using this. So those are the content bucket Trinity. And that's how you achieve non-niche positioning, right? Because at this point, like, you don't even need an ICP. All you need to do is optimize your profile to say that you're a ghostwriter or you're a fitness coach or whatever it is you're offering, and then get them to trap your profile through the content Trinity. You can write about whatever you want, your diary, general audience, niche audience, shows your authority with your expertise, and then ICP content, which targets, just look at one guy who you want to work with your offer, and then look at the flaws he's doing, or look at what he wants, and then post about it. Post about how you have the solutions and what he wants. Like, you can give him what he wants. So that's it. That's it for the first section, Q&A. Does anyone have any questions? Was that all clear? Or
it was very clear.
Awesome. How about any questions from Roberto, Nicholas, Esau? We're good? Damn. Okay. So we go on to the next part, which is the 4 steps to monetize your account in 45 days. All right. So the first lever, step 1, is building a long-term project. So the long-term project is the one that generates you money. We mentioned earlier, like, your goal here is to make money. And if you want to make money, you need a project, not just create content. So your long-term project could be a lead magnet for your offer. It could be a workshop like this, or a cohort, or it could be a digital product, course, ebook, software, etc. So this is the most high leverage activity, because once you publish this, you will get more money for your time's worth, right? Unlike content, where you post content, you don't really get money for the content, but a long-term project, when you publish it, you get money. So first you need a long-term project. So for example, this masterclass is a long-term project for me. I needed to work on it. I need to create the curriculum, do the email marketing, all that. And my lead magnet is another project. So if you're a beginner, which I assume like all of people here are offering services of some sort, because that's where we all start, you need to develop a lead magnet, a newsletter, something similar. So, but like, you can't just have a project. The next step is to create content, which I assume you're already doing, because projects will give you money, but your project won't be useful unless people buy it. So what do you need? You need traffic. So you need eyeballs that will convert to cash in the long term. And social media is like paid ads on steroids, and it's for free, which is insane. So I just have a story to tell you guys. I have this, I have a client. I don't know if you're familiar with UGC, so user generated content. So those people who like get makeup and they like do those stuff. So I have a client who is in the UGC space, and she said that she used to do TikTok and Instagram to get clients, but she never got any. And then when she got on X, like a week after, she got her first client, 5K client immediately. I was like, wow. It was insane. And she said that she used to do paid ads, but X is like paid ads on steroids. That's where I got the idea from her, because she said that she got into X and she just signed a client easily. Unlike when she used to do paid ads, Google ads, things like that. So if you already have an offer, so I have people signed up who already had an offer, and you could post about the benefits and your processes. So like that's an ICP content where you try to make your offer attractive to your ICP. If you're building a project, you haven't created it, build in public and build excitement for the launch. So for example, my 12.5K lead magnet, the one I showed you earlier, I was posting the content of my emails in Twitter to build excitement so that people will already be familiarized with the ideas that I put out there. And so when I published it, it became, it resonated with what they already had in their minds, because I already positioned it to be as such, which is a hack. Once you're building the project, you can actually take the project and create content out of it, so that you're building in public, you have content, you have eyeballs, and you're also building your project. Like you're also investing on that leverage so that you can make money in the long run, right? And if you don't have a product, if you still don't have a project, well, then you can create content, and then what will happen is you will attract an audience. So for example, like me, I mentioned I was just posting content on X mindlessly. Like there was no goal. I didn't have a project, but I grew from 86 to 700 in a month, and that was my market. Like, okay, so the things that I'm posting are valuable, so I can monetize the things that I'm posting. And I was posting about, like writing effectively, and it worked. So now I'm a ghostwriter. So you can find a market, you can post whatever you want, find a market, see what resonates, what are the things that go viral, what are the things that go that click, and then you can build a product based on that. So one thing, I have a friend who posted about him like overcoming porn addiction. So he posted about him overcoming a porn addiction, and then it went to like 2 million impressions. And a lot of people DM'd him and asked him, like, how did you do that? Can you help me? And now he's like a addiction coach because he overcame addiction. So you could do that too. If you're still not, you're not sure on what project you're going to build, you can create content and then experiment on what works, and then build a product in that. So the third lever, so remember, we're going building a project, and then creating content, and then networking. So the power of networking is, like building a project is one to many, right? Like when you sell a product, it's going to be, you're broadcasting out there that you're selling a product as well as content. But with networking, it's a lower leverage skill because it's a one-on-one, right? When you're commenting on posts, when you're DMing people, it's a one-on-one interaction. And so it's not that high of a leverage. It's not like you will make a lot of money. It takes a long, long time. So you're using your social media, so you have to be social. So I launched a giveaway recently, how to win ex-friends and influence CEOs, and I'll give you a quick rundown of how to network. So the first one would be building a tribe. So people don't buy products, they join tribes. There's a lot of ghostwriters out there, right? There's a lot of ghostwriters out there, and I can't really compete in terms of skill, because imagine Dakota Robertson is a ghostwriter, man. Like who would hire me over Dakota Robertson, right? Like that's a no-brainer. If Dakota Robertson reached out to a guy and I reached out to the same guy, like 10 times out of 10, they're gonna choose Dakota. But the reason why I'm able to get people to hire me, well, of course, I sell products, I give them benefits, but they want to work with me because they like me as a person. All my inbounds, all the people who reached out to me and they wanted to work with me, either wanted to work with me because I sang a song. I don't know if you've seen me like post a video of me singing, but I sing songs, and there was a guy who reached out to me. I ghost wrote for him a little bit just because I posted a song. Like I posted I was singing. So that's one. That's an inbound. The other guy is he liked my threads. Like he told me he likes the conversational tone of my threads. So he wants that to be his way of making threads as well. So he wanted to be part of my tribe, part of who I am, right? Like he thinks that my way of doing things represents him. So instead of looking for a way to sell, start looking for a way to make people want to be a part of your group. So arouse a desire in them and to become a part of your world. And don't just interact with random people. Focus on the people that matter. So if you look here, I just took a screenshot of the lists. I taught how to build lists in the giveaway. So I have MySpace. These are all my friends. All the people who were with me from day one on X. They're here. Pinoys on X. It's Pinoys basically means Filipinos. So there's 6 Filipinos on X. We have a group too. And this is my engagement group that I joined early. Arnie Ho is right there, the originals. So that's, we interact with each other, and we have a list where we like each other's posts, comment on each other's posts, because we're similar and we want to help each other grow. So the next thing that you want to do is post like a pro, comment like a bro. So later we will talk about how to create content that is professional and like makes people want to buy your product. But when you are commenting, you want to be a genuine person. You don't want to be a bot. That's how you stand out, right? You stand out by being idiot in the comments, and then when they tap your profile, they see, oh my God, this guy is a pro. As I mentioned earlier, the profile, once you optimize that and once you have like excellent content, which we will be talking in the next section, you can just catch their attention through idiot comments. So I screenshotted here Aaron Will, a comment from Aaron Will. I said, like he said, I really don't feel like hitting the gym today, so I just pulled up at the gym. And then I told him, didn't feel like commenting on Aaron's post today. Psych, it's the best part of my day. And this guy is my friend. Like Aaron Will, we DM each other. Dude, I'm 2,000 followers. This guy is 271K. But we're like friends because I'm an absolute idiot in his comments. A lot of people have been like tagging me on Aaron Will's content, telling me like your technique doesn't work. I'd be like, bro, it wasn't just a one-time thing. I actually built a connection with this guy. Like I comment on almost all of his posts and I just troll him. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't mean that it won't work. It's just really more of a vibe. For example, Dakota Robertson, I got him in my podcast through commenting as well, because I noticed Dakota Robertson, he's like Aaron. They reply to your comments on all the comments. And so I know that he would see my comment. And so I just commented there, hey, Dakota, want to hop on a podcast? And he just DM'd me, like cold DM'd me. And then he said, let's hop on a podcast. So it takes time, of course, and not everyone is going to do that. Not everyone is going to reply to you and befriend you, but you build a relationship, and you have an interaction with a person, a real person, and it's just fun. Like, it's just fun going on X and like thinking, oh, I'm going to comment like something funny today. And you're not always in gameplay mode and just, pump out value. You know what I mean? So the next thing would be DMs. So once you have, you have the concept, which tribes you want to go to, you're commenting on them, you're interacting with them, you connect with them in the DMs, because we mentioned earlier, you remember the funnel, people who engage with you, and then people who DM you. So people who DM you are more likely to buy from you than people who just engage with you. So if you really want to befriend someone or to make someone buy from you, should slide to their DMs. So it also worked with friends. And then, but here's the thing, like I put this here, don't treat someone as a friend just to sell to them, because there was a guy who DM'd me, and he was friendly, and like I enjoyed his company. I was like, let's I entertained him. We were having a good conversation, and then suddenly he asked me, do you need a landing page? I'm like, wait, what? We were just having a chat, like we were just talking, and now you're offering me a landing page out of nowhere. And then I said, no, thanks, man, I'm good. And then he said, why? What? Dude, like what? Why? And then I just said, I just don't need it. And then he unfollowed me and never engaged or talked to me ever again. Like, don't be that guy. That's not, if you want to make friends, make friends. And if you want to sell to them, right? If you want to sell to someone, anyone, even your friends, respectfully pitch your offers. But if they do reject you, don't feel bad about it. It's like, we're all hustling here. If I do need a landing page and I do want your services, I will reach out to you and I will keep you in mind. But if you get rejected, don't just like unfollow them, block them, all of that, because it just makes you look like a bad person. Like you just look like a user, basically. You're trying to get into their DMs, be their friends, and then suddenly you're pitching them, which is, again, fine. But if you get rejected, be a good sportsman. So just put here a little bit of this message requests. You see here, like, they don't build trust. They just, I have a design agency. Hey, like, they even have that quotation mark, which is so obvious that it's just copy paste. This guy or this woman just messaged me, do you need a graphic designer? I'll be like, what? I would like to apply, and then I am a graphic designer. One thing that I would say, if you want to connect a cold DM, like they're not following you, if you just say, hey, how are you doing? 80% of the time they will reply. Dude, like everyone who messages me cold DMs and tells me, hey, been loving your content, how are you doing? I reply to them because, I do want to build relationships. I do want to build connections. But when you just outright go for it, which is fine. Like sometimes I do that too, because it's fine to get rejected, but don't expect to be replied to if you just pitch. All right. So after networking, studying. So building a project, creating content, networking one-on-one. And then this is the bonus, which enhances everything, is studying. So studying is a high leverage skill that improves everything, right? It improves your project building, it improves your content making, and it improves your network, because you become better at social interactions, at creating your offers, at getting more traffic. So Steve Jobs once said, learn continually. There's always one more thing to learn. There's always one aspect that you want to work on. And this is the thing that sets average entrepreneurs to great ones. So right now I'm rereading 100 Million Offers. I'm reading Traffic Secrets. I'm reading Almanac, Copywriting Handbook, The Win Without Pitching Manifesto. Highly recommend these books. If you are a beginner, I would really highly recommend this, The Win Without Pitching Manifesto. If you want to do sales calls, like this book changed my mindset when it comes to sales, because it tells you that you're not really selling, you're seeing if you're a good fit. So, for example, Harvey here, he's the first one that I see on my screen right now. When I'm gonna sell something to him, I'm not like forcing him to buy my product. I'm seeing, can I help you? And is your budget the right for me? Like, can you afford my product? And can my product help you? If it's not, then I will point you to the right direction, right? I will refer you. Maybe Harvey doesn't need, a ghostwriter. Maybe he needs a coach, and I'm not a coach. So I will point you to the right direction. I'm not going to force what doesn't fit. So that's the mindset shift from this book. So I highly recommend that. So if you're not sure of what to learn, just really quick rundown of the 4 lessons Dakota talks about. if you want to be a full stack creator. So these are the 4 essential things you want to study. So first would be writing. So this is not only for X. You want to study writing because it is good for thinking. So the way we write becomes the way we speak. And the way we speak is the way we think. If you can write persuasively, effectively, and impactfully, then you win. So it's cool that you're here because this is a writer's workshop. I just put here a logo of logos. So this is the Greek word logos, which means word, thought, principle, speech. I just really found it fascinating. I learned this from philosophy class, where logos both means word and thought. It's like they figured, the Greeks figured out that the way we think is the way we speak, right? And if you can organize your thoughts and in a way that's effective, persuasive, and impactful, then you will win in business. That's why writing is such a big skill. It's the #1 skill that you need to work on. The next skill is marketing. So you are not selling a product, you're solving problems. Just as I mentioned earlier with the win without pitching manifesto, you are looking if we're a good fit. You are not just forcing someone. This is my favorite quote from Seth Godin. Marketing is a generous act of helping someone solve a problem, their problem. As long as you're solving problems, it isn't unethical. You know, you're not a sleazy salesman. As long as you're not forcing someone to buy something that they don't need, that's a sleazy salesman. I wrote about this, like, don't sell ice to an Eskimo because they're already surrounded by ice. Sell them heaters, right? Because they're in the North Pole or South Pole, and then you're gonna sell them something that they have all around them. You know, it doesn't make sense. So instead, sell them heaters so that you can actually help them. People who are unethical, you know, the Wolf of Wall Street, for example, he's like, I can sell ice to an Eskimo. Man, you're tricking someone. And our goal here is not to trick someone, but to help someone. So another unethical way is promising something and not delivering, right? So for example, when someone tells you, I will give you, like you will land, or like you will become a millionaire when you buy this product, when you go to my program, and then they don't deliver, then that's unethical, right? They don't give you what they told they would give you. So don't be afraid of manipulating someone, because that's marketing, right? You're making them buy a product to solve their problems. If that manipulation is something that they want and need, like something that they actually, you know, you're not forcing them, then what you're just doing is making them aware of the problems and the solutions to their problems, right? So don't be afraid of the sleazy salesman thing. So marketing, the next stage would be sales. So sales is just one-on-one. Marketing is selling to many. So you're writing, and then sales is selling to one, right? So it's the same principles I mentioned earlier, seeing if you're a good fit. But the problem with sales is it's more intense because you're dealing with a person face to face. It's one-to-one. So a deeper sense of trust must be established. When you copyright something, you can copyright it and then they buy it. But with sales, you really need to like know the person, right? When I go to sales calls, I always make sure that I know the problems that they're dealing with. Like I ask them, why do you need a copywriter, or why do you need a ghostwriter? Like, what are you struggling with? What marketing aspects are you having trouble with? You know, I don't just tell them, oh, this is the ghostwriting product that I have and this will solve your problems. You know, I really ask them because, again, we're seeing if we're a good fit. We're not selling anything. We're just seeing if we can solve their problem. And if we're not going to solve their problem, put them to the right direction. So these are 2 books that I like. I mentioned earlier, The Win Without Pitching Manifesto and Socratic Selling. And the last skill that you want to learn is AI. It's not really necessary, but it's steroids. So when you know how to use it, you'll become so efficient that you'll just that you'll just launch off from your competitors. That was a weird phrasing, but basically you're just like be way ahead from other people, because automation it's just really amazing how we have access to these things now. So what I suggest is to create your own prompts. I sent you a prompt for this. Like, I gave you a prompt for threads as a freebie, but I would suggest that you reiterate that, the outline of that, because you need to nail down your voice. So I've been working with ChatGPT now. So she's like my VA, because what we do is we really have a conversation. Like, I really tell ChatGPT, this phrase is impactful because it targets the pain points, which is blah, 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 blah. And then I send him my work and then tell him, this is my voice. And then I explain to him what was my thought process. So for example, we will go deep into this, where I will tell him, this is the problem that I'm solving, and this is a problem that my ICP has. So he remembers it. I don't know if you've used ChatGPT, but he actually saves memories. Like, he's like memory updated. So the more I talk to ChatGPT, the more it gets to nail down my voice. But there's a lot of iterations to be done. Like, I've been working with ChatGPT for like a month now, and he still doesn't have my voice yet. But he gives me a lot of ideas. He already knows what I want to talk about. So I'll teach you a little bit of how to create your prompt. So this is a prompt that you got as a freebie of how to write threads, the ones that I make. So give it a specific instruction. So here, thread structure, and then give it examples here, like examples, specific storytelling. So here, I mentioned here personal anecdotes. So he actually knows some of my anecdotes. Again, I talk to ChatGPT. I'm insane with ChatGPT. I even like, there are times when I'm doing, I don't know if you guys are into fitness, but I do zone 2 cardio, and they say like the best way to test zone 2 is when you're speaking and you can't go any further. Like, you can speak, but if you go faster, you can't speak anymore. So that's the test of zone 2 cardio. So I would do that. I would be on a bike and I would test my zone 2 cardio by talking to ChatGPT. Like, I would tell them my plans for the day. I'm not recommending this. Like, I'm not telling you your plans, but I ask him for advice. I tell him like, what should I do to this, for that. And it saves to his memory, gets to know me more, nails down my voice. And so when I write about this, like when I tell them, use personal anecdotes, relatable scenarios, and use storytelling, he can make a very rough draft of me for like what I would write about, which is insane for me. And then after you give him the format, so here I wrote specific formats, give them specific instructions on what not to do. Here, I wrote here, like, elaborate, main topic. Where was there? Be under 280 characters, right? So don't go over 280 characters, because that's a tweet. Just a fun fact there. A tweet is 280 characters. So the more specific dude, I have ChatGPT prompts that are 2 pages of Google Docs, like nearing 3 pages, because I'm really specific and I'm really trying to teach ChatGPT to think like me. So once you've done that, everything that you can use all the ChatGPT prompts to like boost the levers, like building a project, creating content, networking. It just goes insane. So that's going back, just a recap. What you want to do, the 4 steps is to build a project that will monetize, create content around it. And if you don't have a project, create content first, and then build a project, create content, and then a network, which is one-on-one, one-to-many, one-to-many, one-on-one, and then continually learn. So those are the 4 steps that you can apply to your business. Now I want to hear your business, your offers, so that I can help you apply these levers to your business. As well, like if you had questions from the previous lesson, feel free to do that to ask as well. But yeah, do you have any questions?
Oh yeah.
Well, I do. Can you recommend some kind of like writing routine where we go through all the levers, like the four levers in the business? Like, how would a day look like to you when you go through all those levers?
Right,
Like
right.
how much time you spend on each task and lever?
Good question, man. So I designed that to really make it look like you can have a 4-hour workday. Because remember, there's 4 levers, and you can spend 1 hour on each lever. So you can build a project for 1 hour, and then write content for 1 hour, publish that content, and then network for 1 hour. So comment and DM for 1 hour, and then study for 1 hour. And that's, like Dan Cole preaches about 4-hour work days. Like that's the system that makes it possible, at least for me. Those are the 4 levers that I see are fit to create that 4-hour workday. Thanks for that, man. Anything else? Oh,
But yeah, like I cannot do anything to you went to copywriting, right?
yeah.
So how you told that you found your niche, I mean the thing you want to monetize in just by posting content and people validating your ideas.
Yeah.
It also means you have prior knowledge with copywriting.
No, actually. No. The posts that I made were based on the book, The Art and Business of Online Writing. So I mentioned earlier, Nicholas Cole. I just wrote about the lessons that I learned. So it's not really that, dude, I just also recently went deep into copywriting. Because again, what I want to I'm gonna teach you later is how to write so that you make people act. And before I was just writing to make people like my content, like make people to entertain people. But now copywriting is to make people act. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. So just to clarify that, I didn't write about copywriting. It's more like I wrote about how to write, to organize your thoughts, how to, well, actually, some of the content that went viral for me is just motivational stuff, to be honest. That's why like the general audience is a big thing. Just sharing my stories. I just went into copy ghostwriting because Nicholas Cole had a premium ghostwriting academy. And when I was looking through what are the steps to monetization, it's really like what they tell you is to do freelance first, because that's where the big bucks are. Freelance, that's when you get 3K, 5K clients, and they sell you they pay you that much. So it's high leverage. And then once you mastered the art, you can sell the skill via courses, cohorts, coaching. So yeah, we're good. Oh, all right. So again, my goal here today, or the main goal, is to teach you how to write persuasively, right? So as I mentioned earlier, the goal of copywriting is to make them act. So we're stopping the presentation. We're stopping the, giving them information, just spitting out facts. What we want to do is to make them act, right? So, whoa, something weird happened. So if your goal is to make them act, then we need to think of the other person, right? Like we can't just talk about what we want to talk about. So how do we do that? How do we make them act? So first principle that I want to teach is the RIOA, RIOA. You think about one reader, one idea, one offer, and one action, right? So you have one reader in mind, you have one idea to communicate, you have one offer to give, and one action to take. So you don't want to confuse the reader, because no one buys when they're confused. The more specific you are, the more likely they will click add to cart and check out. Okay, so I want you to think of this as you're selling a house, right? You're selling a house. You can't sell a house to multiple people, right? I can't take Harvey, Esau, and Killian, and like imagine you guys don't know each other, and then I just take you, all of you, and just like tour guide you to a house. I can't do that, right? Like you'll be like, what the fuck is this guy? What is this real estate agent doing, right? Like I should be the only one here. So you need to take one person, and when you're gonna go to the house, you can't like tell them we're gonna take this road and this road and this road and this road. No, you want them to be like, this is the road we're gonna take. I'm gonna take you by the hand. I'm gonna bring you to the house using one road. So that's the idea. The idea is the road. One offer, one house. You're not gonna show them 5 houses. You'd be like, these are the 5 houses. Now you choose. No real estate agent does that. A real estate agent brings you to one house, and maybe he will bring you to another later, but he will only offer you one house. So that's one offer to give, and then one action to take. So if you're gonna buy the house, it's either you sign a contract, or you give them cash, or you give them a check. You're not gonna say, okay, you sign a contract. Like you can't just tell them to do that all at the same time while they signing the contract. They signing a check, and they're giving you cash. It needs to be one thing, because if you give them too many roads, if you give them too many houses, if you give them too many actions to take, they will not do anything. They'll be like, screw this, I'm out, right? So that's the principle, RIOA, right? Now, another principle that I want you to see is the 4 C's. So when you're gonna write something, you need to foresee with 4 C's. So clear, I mentioned earlier, RIOA, specificity is key. The more specific you are, the less confusion there is, and the more likely action will occur. Now, after being clear, you want to be concise. So concise isn't about attention spans being shorter, because if that's the case, then why does Joe Rogan, who have two-hour podcast, he can maintain an attention span for that time? Because it's not about attention span, it's about the words that you use. It's about the phrases that you use. If you're forced to use shorter words, to use shorter phrases, you're forced to become more impactful. So remove unnecessary words and phrases, and just use direct, more punchy, and more impactful words. Next thing I want you to think is, what would make you credible? So when you're writing, think about, okay, what about me would make my writing more credible? So if you're writing, for example, I write about landing 12.5K clients. Well, what is my authority or social proof that I have? Because I did it, right? I did it for myself. And so I write that. I write my credibility. And the last C is compelling. So this is like you go back to human nature. There are 2 things that people are concerned about: going away from pain and going towards pleasure. And to compel someone, to make someone act, is to make your offer attractive and make the opposite painful. So you have to frame it in a way that what I'm giving you will solve your problems, so take away your pain, and give you what you want, give you pleasure. So there's the 4 C's. Just checking the chat. So 4 C. And then finally, another mindset shift. So you want to be, so RIOA, 4 C's, and so what? So this is when I know you've heard the benefit versus feature. This is the benefit, right? The so what principle. When you tell people, I am a ghostwriter and I'm selling writing services, no, you're not selling writing services. You are selling more traffic and leads that will lead to more sales. When you are selling spiritual practices, you're not selling you're not selling spiritual practices, right? You're not selling yoga. You're not selling meditation. What you're selling is fulfillment for people so that they can become less anxious and be able to become more productive. So you are not selling fitness programs. You are selling more dates. So I know a lot of fitness influencers who show that they can pick up girls because they're hot. That's what they're selling. They're selling another is a longer lifespan. Some of 40-year-old fitness gurus talk about, they can spend time with their families because they're fit, right? So they sell dates, they sell attractiveness, and they sell relationships, like, longer relationships with your family. So if you're confused on the so what of your offer, you can just go back to the 3 main markets. This is a concept I stole from Traffic Secrets from Russell Brunson: health, wealth, and relationships. So for example, for me, I'm a ghostwriter, I'm a copywriter. What am I selling? I'm not selling health, I'm not selling relationships. Relationships a little bit, but wealth, right? I'm selling leads, I'm selling clicks, I'm selling sales. Like, I go to people and tell them I'm gonna get you more money. So when you are confused on the so what of your product, just think of the 3 everlasting markets. Any questions so far? All right. So 7 writing frameworks that landed me 7 figures. We're gonna go here now. So what I want you to think is this is the meta framework of copywriting. This is, if you're gonna take any framework from this workshop, I want it to be this framework. It's the ERA: emotion, reason, action. Why? Because people buy with emotion, and then they justify with reason, and then they take action. So if your hook, the first sentence of your piece, triggers emotion, and then your next part incites emotion, and then you ask for action, most likely they will take that action. So let's just try to look at this post. So, want to earn dollars while you sleep, right? That incites emotion because people want that, right? Like, even the dollar sign like this incites emotion. When you see just the dollar sign, I didn't even say money here, but this incites emotion. And then the king of funnels, Russell Brunson, makes 1 million per month. This is me talking to reason. I'm making people rationalize that, okay, I can make money while I sleep because there's this guy, king of funnels, Russell Brunson, making 1 million per month with just a computer, the internet, and funnels. Oh my God. Emotion, reason. Now here's the action part. I tell them, here are 3 funnel hacks I use for my clients to close 5-figure deals on autopilot. I'm calling them, okay, tap this thread and read through, right? That's what I'm doing here. So again, if you're gonna take anything away from this, I want you to think it in a way that is emotion, reason, action, right? Okay, next. So this is a more advanced version. So this is just a reiteration of the emotion, reason, action. So first, attention, interest, desire, and action, AIDA. So this format is used when you know your ICP's desires. So when you know that your ICP wants something and you can make an offer to attract them, this is the framework that you should use. So for example, the email, if you actually notice, the emails that I sent you were my basis. I use these frameworks to show you that it works. So if you're here, if you're watching this, the recording, if you're here live, Harvey, Esau, and Killian, Roberto, I want to show you that this works because you were able to purchase. So, for example, go back to attention, interest, desire, action. So attention, X-rated writer launches tomorrow, right? X-rated is attention because what does X-rated mean? It incites curiosity. OMG, Nathaniel, that's such a crude name. But hear me out. So this is when I create interest. So this is reason now. Reason. The reason I'm calling it X-rated is because you are using the X platform. X Roman numeral is 10, and I want you to become a 10 by 10, 10 out of 10 writer. Most people are good writing, but writing well doesn't make you money. So I want you to create 10 by 10 writing that seduces 10K clients. So desire, I create a desire by, so this is an interest, you know, like I'm building interest by showing you these are the things you get. And then desire is the deeper emotional part. So I touch into what you want. Well, you want to attract CEOs, right? You want to close 12.5K deals. You want to get impressions worth 1 million per month. So attention, interest, desire, and then more desire, just expanding, and then more desire by showing you that it's actually worth 12,000 what I'm teaching here, but you will get it for 49 for the discounted price and 74, and then action. If you want to get a special discount, waitlist here. Does that make sense? Any questions there? I want to make sure that the AIDA, these frameworks make sense. Cool. So what I want you to do is, so these are the frameworks that I use, and I give you permission to get the emails that I sent you and these frameworks that I give you and use it for your brand. Like, take this is an outline, just plug in your own ideas. Like this outline, you're free to use it. You have my permission. And just put in like your ideas. So that's the AIDA. The AIDA is also the one I use for my viral threads. For example, this. The greatest FBI negotiator in history. The greatest, like when you hear greatest, that's attention grabbing. It's like, whoa, the greatest, right? Like it grabs your attention. Chris Voss. Attention, interest. This is when I use authority, I give you more proof on why he is the greatest negotiator. Interest. His negotiation strategies are used to deal with the biggest terrorists, political leaders, and CEOs worldwide. Now I give you a desire. And guess what? They also apply to social media growth. Why is it a desire? Because I know that you care about social media growth. The interest is, the surface level, biggest terrorist, but you don't care about that, right? You don't care about negotiating with biggest terrorists and political leaders and CEOs. What you do care about is social media growth. Now I created a desire. Now I tell you, go read this. Now I tell you to go read this thread. Here are 6 negotiating principles you can use on X. Right? You see how that turns out? Like every line is AIDA. Does that make sense? Any questions? Cool. All right. So that's AIDA. Again, if you know your ICP's desires, use AIDA. Okay, let's go to the next. Now, this is the opposite of AIDA. You know how AIDA plays into the pleasure, into the wants of your customers? This plays into the problems of your customers, right? So this works well when you are talking to an ICP that has deep pain, someone who really needs help. When you call out their pain point and they think, hey, that's me, you've won. Like if you can give a concrete, if you can define their pain with the agitation part, you will get them to buy. So let's see how that goes here. So this is another email that I sent to you promoting my product. Writing for your past self doesn't work. So problem is I had a student who has been writing for 6 months, sending 100 DMs per day, even offering free services. Now, I'm not saying that this is you, right? But I bet that you feel this way. Some people listening to the recording feel this way, right? You've been working on X. You've been DMing people. You've been offering free services, but you still don't have clients. Now when I said this, and when people hit that, you agitate, you go deeper. I looked up at her post, stories about herself, random platitudes, motivational stuff. You know how it is. Another victim of write for yourself mantra. More agitation. Let's see, if you write for your past self, then you attract people like yourself. Guess what? If you're broke now, your past self will be much more broke. So if you're writing for your past self, then you're attracting people more broke than you. Now you're wondering why you have 0 clients? Boom. That's like the agitation part where they like, it's just so painful. They're looking for a way out. They can't help but continue reading. If you want to get more clients, you need to write for them. Now I'm giving them the solutions. Now I do a little bit of objection handling here, because some people will think, oh, then I can't write about my ideas or stories. No, right? You can write about it, but you should make them valuable. So you show that your idea solves the current problem that they have and that a desired outcome that they want. Remember, you're not the hero, the reader is. Now that you've given a solution, give another solution to go. Like I didn't give all the solutions here, right? You see how I just tell them, showing that your idea solves the problem that they have and your idea shows a desired outcome. How, right? Like I didn't give you how to solve this. Now you want to know how. If you want that, go join, right? You see that? So this is a PAS, PAS, another PAS. So this worked for people 2 steps behind me. And this is also a post that I use for my ICP. You are the niche. No offense to Danco, but this is pure bullshit. Sure, you can post whatever you want when you have 200K followers. But one thing I learned as a beginner, so who's my ICP here? Beginner. Posting about your interests will not make you money, right? So I'm saying a problem here about how people post about their interests, but it will not make them money. Yes, they got engagement, fans, and connections, which I assume a lot of people get. But even though I was sitting at 100 followers, my bank account was still at 0. And then I give them more agitation, like say cash, and then call them out by saying, you know, Danco fans, because this is what Danco teaches: inspires, educate, and entertain. Then I give them a solution. If you want people to buy your service, you must make them want it, trust it, and act on it. Does that make sense? Am I making sense here? Any questions? Good so far? The next one is PAS, but on steroids. So problem, promise, proof, proposal. So this is when your ICP has a problem and you have the authority to back it up. So you see the difference really here is just the proof. So for example, here, the first email that I sent announcing that I will be launching a product is, remember when I sent you a letter saying, if you need help, so this is a problem for me, right? Well, people got the message and my DMs just got flooded. So I apologize if you sent me a message and I wasn't able to help. I'm laying out a problem here. It's been difficult dealing with the messages. I got one maniac even texting my number. I don't know how he found it, but it was too much. But hey, this is when the promise comes in. But hey, I still want to get connected to those people I know I can help. I had a lot of inspiring writers ask me the same questions. How to build authority, how to make threads, how to land high ticket deals. And then I give them a promise. So I'm planning to make a workshop at the end of July. Now that I have a promise, I give them proof. And I'll teach you how I was able to rack these numbers up in 3 months. Bam, bam, proof. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? If yes, reply to this email and I'll add you the wait list. Proposal, right? Problem, promise, just a short promise in here, but a lot of proof, and then proposal. Does that make sense? Right, so this is PAS, so you just have proof. That's the difference. PAS with proof. You're showing authority. Another one here, another PPP. So you see here, like I talk about a problem. I've been writing for months, but have 0 clients. Read this. So that's already a problem. Problem, and then talking about the threads. These tweets pop off. Guess what? They still get the same amount of engagement. Problem again. hours of wasted effort that didn't get results. Now I give them a promise by showing, want to know my secret on how I get engaged, insane engagement like these. So I give them proof. The proof comes in. And then I don't talk at my audience, I talk to them. So just really quickly, here again, there's proof here. And then give them the proposal, which is on June 29, right here. Is PPP making sense? Are the frameworks making sense so far about desires? Cool. All right. On to the fifth one. So before, after bridge, now we're getting into more storytelling where when you have, so you notice how AIDA and PAS are good for beginners who don't have anything to show up for, who don't have stories. Because if you can talk about the problems of your customers in a very good way or their desires in a very good way, you don't need proof. But if you have proof, this becomes the stronger frameworks that you can use. So before, after bridge, use this when you are showing your transformation. So this is great for targeting ICPs who are 2 steps behind you, especially when they were in the exact same position as you were. So that's just another email that I sent you guys. Time is ticking, heads up. Tomorrow I'm closing the X-rated writer workshop. Here, before, 90 days ago, I had 86 followers and $0 despite spending hours on my screen trying to make my online business work. After, now I have 2,400 followers, closed a 12.5K deal, and closed 3K retainers with CEOs across the globe. And then bridge, but it didn't come at no cost, right? So before, after, and then tell them, okay, what was the journey for you to get there? But it didn't come at no cost. I spent 13K on coaches and courses, 100 hours of experimenting. And then here's more of like how I relate to my readers. It was a stressful and mind-breaking experience, ton of sleepless nights, anxious energy as I wait, constant feeling of inadequacy. Here I'm talking to my reader again. Like these are the feelings that I know all freelancers have. I thought I would lose my mind, but with determination. So before, after, bridge, and then offer, basically, right? But this is the before, after bridge is more of the hook, because what you're showing here is a transformation. So that's the email that I sent you guys. This is one I use for my ICP to show my story. So I'm 21. 30 days ago, I had an 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. job that paid me $400 per month. I sacrificed my sleep to sustain myself and go to university. Now I'm earning 5 figures and working with CEOs across the world. My life changed when I started X. 7 transformative lessons I learned. That's the BAB. Before, after, bridge. Bridge is the selling point. So you're selling your process. That's why it's useful for those who are 2 steps behind you, because you're selling your process. Is that making sense? Frameworks making sense? Cool. Another storytelling framework is the hook story offer that I stole from Russell Brunson. Another way to use your personal experience. So if you have a result and you have a story on how you can give the result, you can offer that result. So you see how here, this is the hook, how to get 1,200 clients on X, even if you have 0 following. 80% of writers are not closing clients. Why? Because although they don't know how to write, although they know how to write, they don't know how to sell. You see, most people think that once they develop good writing skills, clients will start knocking on their door. Heck, I've been in that position too. Here, hook, bam, telling you, relating with you, and then story. I've been in that position too. I was confused. I was getting all these likes. It's not about getting great posts. Then the results, give a little bit of results, just showing off my story. And then now I want to do the same offer, right? See that? Hook, story, offer, and then just go deeper into the offer, more detailed. And then offer. So my sales page was hook story offer. Making sense? Dope. This one is a little bit funny. Can you guess what the hook is in this? Because I went exactly to the story, because this is not a hook. So the hook actually is my picture. Like when you see this ugly ass face in your profile, in your timeline, you'd be like, what the fuck is that face, right? The hook is my face. The hook is like all the bad lighting, the folders, like that's the hook. So another tip there, you can use photos as hooks, right? Your photos can be hooks. And then the hook is the photo, and then this is my story. And then a little, like really deep story. And then this is when the offer comes in. Actually, this part already starts my offer, because I already say that's why I tell all my students. So I'm not making it about me anymore. I'm making it about my students. Then here's when I actually give my offer. On X, I saw that the formula to success is positioning yourself. And then on June 29. So that's the hook story offer. Any questions there? We're good? Cool. Now the last framework is my favorite. It's the SLAP framework, brother. SLAP framework is just stop, look, action, purchase. Very fast. When there's a low-hanging fruit, so meaning there's someone will already wants to buy but needs that little push, that little push that you want, you give them the SLAP. You give them the stop, low, action, purchase really quickly, bam. So this is a great quick bump on a purchase when there's a low hanging fruit. So, for example, the last email that I sent, the 3 hours left, you can also say 3 spots left, like some form of, like the stop, this is urgent, this is scarce, this is important, stop, look, just really quickly, just the offer, look, So look, and then action, and then offer, bam, purchase, action, and then when you click the link, you purchase, right? So really quickly, this is when you want someone to purchase really quickly, slap, no story, nothing, just a slap in the ass. Also did that in Twitter, 5 hours left. Look, doors were closed. I'll show you, and then DM me. And then when they DM me, purchase, bang. Make sense? Okay. Go for it, man. Question?
Did you come up with this SLAP and HSO framework on your own?
No, HSO is from Russell Brunson.
Oh, right. You did mention that, right?
Yeah. SLAP is, I don't know where I read it, but it's a long time ago. It's a copywriting framework that people talk about. Yeah.
Wow, those are really unique. That's the first time I've seen those two.
That's why I really wanted to give you all these frameworks, because
nice.
All the emails that I sent you are within this framework. And now what I want you to do is to get the emails that I sent you, get a swipe file, put it in a swipe file, and then just change the words with your ideas, right? That's why, dude, the emails that I sent you, that's why it's varying. It's not just like promotion, because I also wanted to show you from day one how you can use the 7 frameworks to sell a product. Because if you're here watching this, then you know that this works, right? Because you purchased the product.
Yeah,
so yeah, those are the first 7 frameworks. Now, thank you. I want to break down some stuff that you guys sent. First, let's go to really quickly the ones that submitted, because I do want to go there first. The first one that submitted was you, actually, Kevin. Is your name Kevin or Esau?
Okay, well, yeah, just to address that right now. It's Kevin on Twitter, right? But seeing that you pronounce my name correctly, I'm thinking to actually change it to my original name.
To
So,
Esau?
yeah, yeah.
Dude,
I just want to change it to something more brandable.
right. Well, where did Kevin come from? You just made it
That's
up.
the name. That is the name I actually wanted, like all my life.
Wow. Oh my God. You just changed. That's funny, man. That is hilarious. You just like, screw. Dude, you even did that for PayPal. You paid me and your name in PayPal was Kevin, right?
Yeah.
Or no? But anyways, so here, right, I want to ask you, do you guys have time? If you need to go, feel free to go. This workshop is supposed to last for 12, but I'll be happy to stay here if you want to. So what do you think, Esau? What do you think is the framework here? The framework that I taught you, the 7 frameworks, what do you think you're using here? Because you are
I
using
think I
some.
use problem, agitate, solution.
No,
Mm.
because you're not solving a problem. What is this?
AIDA.
Yeah, AIDA, right? Because you're not solving a problem. You're not telling
Right.
them, not getting enough engagement. Your question is not, you see how you're asking them want to go viral? You're triggering a desire here. You're not solving their problems, right? If you want to reframe it to a problem, you should be like not getting engagement, right? That's the problem. Pass. But here you're fulfilling a desire. So if you're fulfilling a desire, then what's the framework you should use?
AIDA, yeah.
AIDA. So what I want you to do here is, remember, AIDA is attention, interest, desire, and action. You already got the attention, want to go viral, right? The interest, better yet, only using short form tweets. That's when I'm like, I don't get it. That's when I stop and think, why would I want to go viral with short form tweets? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're not
I get it.
creating an interest for me. You're not creating an interest and a desire. So what I would do here is, want to go viral, Vincent, or like, I don't know who this guy is, to be honest, but like Vincent is a guy who XXXXXX. You're creating an interest. You're giving like authority. Vincent is XXXXX. And then desire. That's when I'd be like, Vincent, blah, 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 blah. If you want to become the next big thing, desire, right? Go back to the, so what? Go back to the wealth, health, relationship. What you're selling here is relationship, right? Because you're not really selling money. You're selling fame. You're selling status. So you're selling a relationship. Want to go viral? Vincent is XXXXX. If you want to become the next king of X, something like that, this is the system that will get you from 0 to 2,000 likes or something, right? And for threads, 80% of the thread is the hook, right? 80% of the thread is the hook. So if you have a good hook, it's just over. It's like your tweet will go viral. Make sense?
Yeah.
So remember, AIDA, if you're creating a desire. Normally, these types of threads, when you create a desire and you're not really solving a problem, AIDA. Like the things I use, most of my threads, I use AIDA. So let's break down the others who submitted. Sam Clayton, who unfortunately had to leave. Let's break it down. Being a human is a challenge, but it is incredible results when you get serious. You have to latch onto anything you have got and keep moving forwards. Mistakes are inevitable. So this is a general post, but we could, work with it. So here it's kind of confusing. Again, it's a nice platitude that's relatable, right? But again, we're trying to make someone act. And the problem with this tweet is it's just, you're putting it out there. You're not really making someone act. So let's assume, right? Let's assume, Sam, if you're watching this right now, let's assume that what you want people to do is accept mistakes, right? That's the end goal, to accept mistakes. So you're laying out a problem here because human is a challenge. So anyone here want to say, like, if you have a problem, what frameworks do we have when you have a problem to solve? What frameworks do you use?
I'll
Can you
let
repeat the
somebody else
question?
answer.
Sorry, Killian, you're saying?
Can you repeat, please?
Right, so we have a problem in the hook. So what is the framework that we use when there's a problem?
Pass.
Pass.
P-A-S.
Pass or PPP, right? If we have proof, we can use PPP too. So what I would do here, Sam, if you're watching, is give a problem of why human is a challenge. Why, like, even you can even use your stories. This can even turn into a hook story offer, because you have to make people realize that there is a problem, and then agitate it so that they can buy into the goal of buying from you a service that makes them accept that mistakes are inevitable. Is that making sense? The frameworks are made so that people will take action. That's why I'm giving them to all of you. So you have to make this an apparent problem, because this really is just, it's like, it's just a quote that is inspirational, but doesn't really make people act. Right? Does that make sense to everyone here? Cool. So the last submission, right here. Oh, wow. I like this. I'm annoyed. Okay, I'm annoyed. So that's a hook right there. Everyone's making 10K a month on here through the same thing, personal brand coaching. They're getting all these inbound clients on a daily basis through strategies, trial and error, and sharing it on posts. And sure, it seems tempting to go down that route because clearly there is money in it. But after thinking about it, meditating on it, and journaling, this isn't what I want. I'm not sure what I want yet, but what I truly enjoy is writing. Someone messaged me. Oh, okay. Harvey. We'll go to that. We'll get to Harvey in a while. But I truly enjoy writing posts, scripts, books. I love it, but I haven't figured out how to sneak. So I really hate these cuts. If you're watching, sorry, Nick. If you're watching, Nick, I know like a lot of people do this to make it like attractive, but it's like, if you're gonna finish a thought, I hate it when you cut the sentences short. It's like, but I haven't figured out how to sneak into it. Just when you read it, right now I'm reading it, it just pisses me off. I'm sorry, but it's, of course, it's up to you. But I haven't figured out how to sneak into exclusive ghostwriting club. Personal brand coaches don't need it because it's not personal. Now it's getting a little bit too long. YouTubers might not need it because they need research. And I would prefer to start my business through social media instead of in real life, because social media is what I know. It's all I've got. I know how to grow. That doesn't mean I'm giving up, but not how to monetize. Just because I don't know how currently doesn't mean. One thing I truly know is I have to keep going. So again, nothing against this. I love the piece. One thing that I would say is that, again, it's just presentation. You're not really making people act, right? And again, if you want people to buy, I'm not criticizing in terms of this is a bad piece of writing. It's an amazing piece of writing, right? But again, the goal of this workshop is to teach you how to do copywriting and to make people buy, to get more clicks, to get more sales. And this is not going to sell anything. What you're doing here is just presenting yourself, which is not bad. But again, just want to clarify that. Now, do anyone here, Harvey, Esau, Killian, want to say, what do you think the framework he used here? You can just give a shot.
Pass again.
Yeah, correct. He used pass because there's a problem, right? The problem is that he's freaking annoyed. Everyone's making 10K per month, right? Pisses me off. And he did a good job agitating here. He's like, everyone's making 10K per month through the same thing. Personal brand coaching. They're all getting these inbound clients. Like, I love how, Nick, if you're watching this, I love your agitation here. Through strategies, trial and error, And sure, it seems tempting to go down that route because clearly there's money in it. But after thinking about it, meditating on it, and journaling isn't what I want. Now, what I would say here is give a solution, right? But I'm assuming that this is just like you're still not offering anything and you just want to write. So you're not sure what I want yet. But what I truly enjoy is writing, which I think is the solution part. Again, this is nice, but I think what happened here is you kind of went a little bit too long, because when you already solve it, right? I would cut your piece here. I love it. Or try to include this problem in here. Because what happened here is you already solved your problem, like problem at agitation, and then solution. This isn't what I want. I'm sure what I want yet, but I truly enjoy writing posts. I love it. I would cut the piece there, personally, or add more that is solution based. Because what happened here is you already closed the gap. You already closed the loop, and then you opened it again with another problem. So you know how I told you, like, there should only be one idea. You're talking about everyone making 10K per month, but then you opened another, you haven't figured out how to sneak into a ghostwriting club, right? There's two problems now. So it becomes confusing for people because it's just one problem and then you solved it, but then it becomes two problems. So what I would do here is try to make a way to maybe merge the same problems into the upper part and then a solution, or just cut it out. Does that make sense to people watching? Cool. So Nick, if you're watching this, that's my breakdown here. I love the writing. Dude, you have so much potential. That's just all what I want to say. Like, if you have already solved the problem, don't make another problem. Don't give another idea. And again, like, you don't have an offer yet, just fine. But if you want to make people act, you have to have an offer. If you have any questions, shoot me a DM, give me an email. Again, I mentioned here, like, everyone who participated, anyone here as well who's watching, if you have a question or you want me to do a breakdown, I could actually do a breakdown for you too. So that's it. Let's pass. Oh, right. Yeah, Harvey, pass. So another one from Harvey. Killian, if you have any drafts, I'd be happy to analyze them for you. Just send them in the... And also Roberto, dude, I haven't been addressing you, but you haven't been really responding, so I don't really know what's happening. But Roberto, yeah. Newsflash, 70%. Okay. Here. Okay. Newsflash, 70% of us feel lonely as fuck when the phone's... Now, I mean, we already know here, it's like most of this pass. I think Harvey mentioned it well, that this is a pass framework. I don't know where the 73 comes from. That's one thing. You're dying for real friends. So you remember, I don't know if you saw it, but one of the things that I talk about in my emails, one of my email marketing is talking to your customer rather than talking at their customer. Right? Has anyone read that thing that email that I sent? Roberto, Esau, Harvey, Killian, right? So I mentioned there that when you talk at your customer, it's like, it's very patronizing and people start not wanting to read your stuff. I wouldn't want to read this. It's like, if someone tells me 73% feel lonely as fuck, even with phones glued to your hands, you're dying for real friends. It's like, what are you, like, bro? I ain't gonna tap on this, It's not what I would do here instead is try to empathize with them, because I mean, this is the way that Andrew Tate does it, right? Like, Andrew Tate likes to make you feel bad, which kind of works for him because he's an authority figure. but Harvey, you're a 166 followers and you're not really well known yet, and you say these stuff, it appears like you're just a little kid ranting. Does that make sense? I'm sorry if that's a little bit harsh, but that's how it shows off. So what I would do here instead is like, I would even make it like related to me. So I remember what I mentioned earlier about people, like a guy who wrote about porn. So I would say, problem. I used to struggle with porn. I didn't have real friends. All I got was fake smiles and lame small talk. Like that's even a stronger hook, I would say. So that's what I would say. Talk to your customers rather than at your customers. So let's say not use your personal experience. Maybe something like, most people, oh, right. How about that? Most people are addicted to OnlyFans and Pornhub. Yeah. Most people, you're not saying you are, but you're saying most are. They're dying of real friends. They are getting fake smiles. They have lame small talk. So instead of saying that you're just saying most, right? And it becomes not an attack, less patronizing. So that's what I would do, Harvey. Right. Okay. So how about you, Killian? You have anything? All right. I thought I was weird. They thought I was weird. Love it. Let's just see. Hold on. Okay. Go to party. So what is this? What do you think is this framework, Killian?
Probably a pass again.
Right. It is kind of a pass, but when we're talking about stories, about relationship, like, talking about yourself, it's more of like a hook story offer, actually. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you said the hook is they thought I was weird. Right? That's a hook because it triggers emotion. It's like they thought I was weird. Curiosity. And then you go to the story. It's New Year's Eve. I didn't go to a party. Dude, I love this. Didn't go our call, stayed with my parents. Some of my friends were mad at me for not coming. I didn't care. I knew I was doing something right. Man, it's really good. Just appreciated being home the next day. We're gonna be in the gym. Oh, okay. I see how we could improve this. I like this part. This day could feel close. While people were sleeping hungover, I woke up. Stay doing what others were not willing to stay. I could feel that I was doing something right. So this part, it's good, but when you said here, like when you already talk, because you know how the hook story offer goes is like you give a hook, you give your story, and then after you give your story, you give the offer. So the problem here is you give the hook, you give a story, and then you see how like this day I could feel I was doing something right, doing what others were not willing to do. Here it's like you're already talking to the customer, to the reader, right? Like you're already kind of like telling them do what others are not willing to do, right? This is the start of an offer, and the problem is you started another story, so it became kind of like a hook story offer story again, which became confusing, right? So what I would do here is when you said this, I would go directly to something like, so when you said doing what others were not willing to do, stuff, doing what others were willing to do. Oh crap. What I would do is here, go here now. Like I wouldn't say we were in the gym anymore. Like I would just go doing what others were not willing to do. That session, I would even like have, can I comment? I'll just edit it. Is that fine?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would do like doing what others were not willing to do. That session was my best. Record broken. It was my best. 0 distractions. Record broken. 0 distractions. Flow state flowing. I would even say that. It just sounds right. I don't know, man. It just sounds right for me. It's like that, doing what others are not willing to do. That session was my best. Zero distractions, flow state flowing, record broken, just like and. I love it. But you know, I'll see you, man. Record broken. Record broken. I felt so strong. I was so strong. I felt like I could. I was so strong. I felt like I could carry 100 bulls or something. Something like, don't use that, but you know how you kind of like just make it funny, or at least this is my way of writing, you know, like make it entertaining, and then so just make it exciting, make it attractive to your audience, and then at that moment I understood, right? Like I was so strong, I felt I could carry 100 bulls. At that moment I understood to not do what people. So this I would say is too long. So I would say a moment, just make it shorter. Same idea. At that moment I understood my opinions, my matters, or my mission matters more than others' opinions. Yeah. I would also make this like more impactful. People would never do that. I would say like people partying in January, or no, hold on. People partying for New Year's, I'm hustling. People too hung over for the gym, I'm lifting. People can't train. The fasted is kind of, is not really a pain point for me, you know, like I feel like there could be something stronger than fasted. People, but you can still do that. People say, oh, I know. People say you need a free meal. People overthinking their pre-workout meal. I'm just doing it, or I just do it. Do what's right for you. That's what I would do. That's how I would improve it. So that's the comment. I didn't comment really. So these are my comments right here. Here, these are my comments. Just putting a space on the comment that I made. So here, hook, story, offer. You continue with this, the hook, the offer. Don't give a story anymore, because it kind of gives a lag in the brain if you give another story, right? You just hammer it on with a story, with the offer, or at least make it look like an offer, not another. Because it became like, you know how we were reaching the climax, and then when we were in the climax, you suddenly like plateaued, right? Because here it's like, this day I could feel like I was doing something right, doing what others were not willing to do. And then I was like, already, oh my God, he's a beast. And then suddenly we were three at the gym, calm. It's like, you know, but when you have like, doing what others were not willing to do, that session was my best. Zero distractions, flow state flowing, record broken. Like it just goes up, you know? So that's how I would do it. Making sense?
Yeah, a lot of sense.
Cool. It's too long, bro. It's funny. It's funny, but it's too long.
Yeah, I realize
It's too
that.
long. I mean, what? Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. So what is the framework, my friend Esau? Let's see.
I believe it's pass.
Right. Okay. So what do you think is missing, my friend? Well, you know, this is a good hook. It's just,
Yeah.
you know how if I don't care about models, I wouldn't care about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like what you're trying to do here is like attract models, actually. Because you're writing, you know, like you should write about things that writers care about. Because if you write about model wobbling, it's not going to make sense for them, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is missing here?
To make it more specific to people who, well, my target audience is people who
Yeah.
want to grow on X.
Yeah. Correct. And you also don't have an agitation, my friend. You just say, is your writing like this? And then you didn't act, this would work if you gave a little bit of agitation of like the feeling. What is the feeling of a model wobbling in high heels? What you could do instead is, are you unsure of who to write to? The model wobbling is the agitation parts. Like you could say, unsure or confused on how to write. Do you feel like you're like a model wobbling, or a skater not having, you know what I mean? Like you can use those as agitations, but if you use that as the main hook, and again, it's really just hard to use this as agitation because not all writers care about models wobbling in high heels, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But yeah, pass, right? No, build on your agitation. The solutions are great, king to inbound leads. So now my problem here again is, you know how you're trying to, so we go back to RIOA. There's too many ideas in here. Like you're talking about models, and now you're talking about elephants, and now you're talking about a king. It's, it's too many ideas. There's too many roads that we're taking here. And if you go back to the RIOA, we need to take one road. We shouldn't confuse our reader. Does that make sense?
Yeah, stick to one over Argentina.
Yeah. So there's that. Okay. Any more concerns? I think we're about to wrap up.